2 ways to accompany your steamed vegetables. If you like eating healthy without sacrificing the pleasure of food, then the following recipes are good to accompany steamed vegetables. Steaming sure makes your day-to-day life easier. The following are creative and easy to make recipes with amazing flavor. Vegetables, just like fruits, are foods that are packed with vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and fiber, which are important for the body to function properly. However, many people stop eating them because they don't like their flavor or texture, especially children. The key is to learn how to cook them and with what other foods to get different delicious flavors. In regard to steamed vegetable recipes, it's all about selecting the best dishes. Nobody will definitely be able to say these meals aren't delicious. Keep on reading to learn about these new fun ways to cook. How to accompany steamed vegetables. One. Spaghetti with white sauce and steamed vegetables. Spaghetti is one of the best side dish for any meal. If you're a fan of Italian food, you're going to love this meal with your steamed vegetables. The recipe is easy to make and won't even take an hour to cook. Ingredients. 1 onion, 100 grams. 1 red pepper, 150 grams. 4 teaspoons of salt, 20 grams. 1 cup of milk, 225 milliliters. 1/2 cup of water, 100 milliliters. 1/3 packet of asparagus, 50 grams. 3 tablespoons of margarine, 45 grams. 1 package of long spaghetti, 1 kilogram. 1 tablespoon of olive oil, 5 milliliters. 4 tablespoons of wheat flour, 60 grams. 2 teaspoons of dried rosemary, 10 grams. Preparation. First, cut the onion and red pepper into cubes. Add the tablespoon of olive oil to the steamer as well as the chopped vegetables. Then, sprinkle 2 teaspoons of salt and 2 teaspoons of rosemary. You should sauté the vegetables for a few minutes, then add the water and cover it. Steam the vegetables for 20 minutes until they get soft. Heat the milk in a pot over low heat until it boils. You can add 1/2 of an onion if you'd like. Next, in a separate pot, melt the margarine over low heat. Add the wheat flour and mix it until it forms a dough. When the milk and the mix of margarine and flour are ready, put them both into one pot over low heat and whisk to get rid of any lumps. You'll gradually notice the mix will form a white sauce or bechamel. Then, add 2 teaspoons of salt and mix it a little more. Remove the vegetables from the steamer and mix it with the white sauce. Finally, make the spaghetti in a separate pot. When it's all ready, serve and pour the white sauce on top of the spaghetti and steamed vegetables. 2. Steamed vegetable pot pie. Although you may not think so, this recipe is actually simple to make. It's an original way of making steamed vegetables that packed with flavor. Keep reading to learn how to make it. Ingredients: 3 onions, 250 grams. 5 eggs, 200 grams. 1 sack of potatoes, 200 grams. 5 carrots, 150 grams. 1 pie crust. 1 bundle of spinach, 300 grams. 4 teaspoons of salt, 20 grams. 1 teaspoon of parsley, 5 grams. 1 teaspoon of oregano, 5 grams. 1/2 cup of cream cheese, 100 grams. 1 teaspoon of olive oil, 5 milliliters. 1/2 green pepper cut into small pieces, 80 grams. Preparation. First, peel the carrots and potatoes and cut them in 1/2 centimeter slices. Cut the onion in small pieces. Then, steam the vegetables for 15 minutes. Sprinkle 2 teaspoons of salt. Next, add the water and 2 teaspoons of salt in a pot over medium heat until it boils. When it begins to boil, add the spinach and leave it for 5 to 8 minutes. In a mold, stretch the pie crust and spread the teaspoon of olive oil over it so the filling doesn't stick. In a bowl, beat the 5 eggs with the parsley, oregano, and green pepper. Save this mix. Now you can make the filling. Put the vegetables inside the mold, starting with the carrots, then the potatoes, the onion and finally the spinach. Pour the egg mix over the pie and add the cream cheese to make the top layer. Finally, put it in the oven for 30 minutes at 200 C/400 OF. Then, take it out and serve.